All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to your daily dose of awesome. Your live 50 minutes of daily motivation, inspiration, and education, so you can get your day started right. It is good to be back. I've had an incredible couple weeks here with the team at Elite Marketing Pro. I went over to Orlando. I was in Melbourne. I recently got back, and then the past 2 days I've been at the World Series. Earlier this week on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was incredible, and that's actually what I want to talk about today. Today's topic for the Daily Dose of Awesome is what being at the World Series and seeing these professionals on the field at the highest level taught me about becoming a top earner in network marketing or a top earner in any venture for that matter. And so that's what I want to talk about today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ferny. I'm a lead generation online marketing expert specializing in helping home business owners, that's network marketers, affiliate marketers, direct sellers, multiply their incomes using the internet. We teach network marketers, direct sellers how to take their business online. Over the past 10 years, I've personally been responsible for over $16 million in gross income into my home businesses, and have helped our clients produce hundreds of millions of dollars more collectively in their businesses as well, in network marketing, direct selling, affiliate marketing, online marketing, you name it. Basically, any business that you can build from home, from the comfort of not only from your comfort of your own home, but from the comfort of sitting behind your laptop, is what we shall focus on and do here at Elite Marketing Pro. And so, to follow us, I highly recommend you go to our fan page, or you can actually click on the video right now. It's live. Click on the video, and a little menu should pop up that'll allow you to follow us, like our fan page, and turn on live notifications so you get notified every time we go live. This is how we deliver our best free public content to the world of network marketing. And so let me actually hop on right on the phone to make sure we are on. And you can actually, if you're on desktop, you can watch this or you can get notifications by going to the fan page for Elite Marketing Pro and turning on notifications, choosing to see our posts first. By far, we have the richest and best content in the space. So let me check real quick to make sure I'm live and everybody can hear me here. Let me see real quick. Oh, there we go. Check real quick. All right, there you go. Awesome, guys. What's up, Krista? How's it going, guys? Jill, Chris. What's up, Chris? Terry. So as you're logging in, let me know where you're coming from. I'd love to know how far and wide our message is being spread. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Jennifer. How's it going? So I want to just go dive right deep into our content here for today. Now, it might seem weird to be talking about baseball, talking about the World Series, and somehow draw a connection between that and what happens in network marketing. But the truth is, I saw a lot of parallels between what happens in the world of professional baseball. As you guys don't know, I'm a huge baseball fan. I have been since I was a little kid, and it's something that just brings me back to my childhood and growing up in LA, and something we could enjoy as a family. And so because I follow baseball, I know the stories of all the players. I know many of the players. I know the stories of, at the very least, some of the trials and tribulations that many of them had to go through in order to get to the level that they're at. And sometimes the Dodgers are criticized for being basically kind of like the Yankees of the West Coast, where they basically are buying their talent. They could spend more money on building a World Series team, and to an extent that's true. What people don't realize is that a big chunk, if not over half of the team put together by the Dodgers, were once down on their luck baseball players. And really, they were struggling to even make it in the majors. Some of them were stuck in the minors, or they were back and forth. And something happened along the way that helped them to persevere, not only persevere, but become better at their craft and what they do. And so that's essentially what I want to talk about. And specifically, what reminded me of this, and what made this kind of really clear about, the incredible journey that these players go through, is being at Game 2 of the World Series, being at Dodger Stadium. If you guys don't know, if you guys don't follow baseball, this is probably considered maybe one of the best, if not the best game ever in the World Series, where basically the lead switched 5 times. So it was a back and forth game that went into extra innings, and even in the extra innings it was back and forth. 8 home runs were hit during that game, so it was a World Series record. It literally turned into a home run derby. And so what I wanted to specifically talk about is, what I observed. What happens normally in any game, for that matter, is that is extremely tough when you're the team that's ahead, when you're the team that has the lead. It's extremely tough to all of a sudden, if you lose the lead, if you make a mistake, and now you're behind, it's extremely tough to kind of recover from that. Especially when you're at the World Series, the biggest stage of them all. Everything you're doing is under a microscope. Every little mistake you make can be amplified to the point where it can literally ruin your reputation and career. And so, and what happened is the Dodgers were ahead in the game, and some home runs were hit, and all of a sudden they're behind. And towards the end of the game, so it's really close, and pretty much, you could assume that the game's over. The Dodgers pretty much are not going to come back from this. And not only that, the entire stadium, which was booming and loud and crazy loud, goes silent. It just the stadium goes silent. Everyone's in shock. Oh my God, the Dodgers are going to lose, and everyone's heart sinks. And probably and what was happening is essentially everyone kind of just wrote them off. There were people leaving. There were people in the ninth inning leaving the stadium. No way are the Dodgers going to be able to come back. So think of it. You're a player in one of the most important moments of your life, and not only are you in shock of what just happened, but all your fans are leaving. All your fans are heading out the door, and there's negativity that surrounds you all around. And so what do? Most teams, in most situations, most people would pretty much fold and say, well, everyone thinks I'm gonna fail, so might as I'm done. And so obviously that's not what happened. The Dodgers ended up coming back, and then the Astros, same thing, vice versa, ended up coming back. And it was apparent to me that the reason why these two teams are in the World Series and the biggest stage of them all is because of not only because of their talent and their preparation, but they were there because of their mental toughness. Not allowing the negativity of that environment to overtake, the job that was ahead of them, the job they had to do. And so, when the fans were losing faith, they stayed focused. When the fans are negative and down or even leaving, they stay focused. That's what players are there to do. That players are there are paid to win. And so think of the times when you've pretty much given up. Can you tell me? Drop me number two, if you could think of a time when you were pretty much ready to give up, when people around you were being negative, when your spouse or your friends were not supportive of what you were doing here in this industry. Think of a time when you felt isolated and alone. If you've ever felt like that in your business, drop me a number 2. Let me know that that's happened to you, because essentially, what's going to get you through those moments when everybody around you has given up on you. In this case, it was at the World Series. It's the mental toughness. Mental toughness is what got them through not only this difficult time in this moment in front of a national audience. It's what's gotten half of those players on the Dodgers team that I know of. I'm sure there's those stories in the Astros team as well, but I know only the Dodgers. The difficult times, it's gotten those half those players who at one point were written off. Your career's over. You don't have what it takes to make it in the majors, and all of a sudden they're like competing for MVP status and are the difference makers in a world championship caliber team. So what got those players through those difficult times in their career when they were written off, when they were getting paid the high salary? They're in and out of the minors. And by the way, if you know anything about baseball, especially minor league players, they don't get paid very much. So they're scraping by, living, sharing, one-bedroom studios, eating the cheapest, most horrible food, and somehow trying to still maintain the high performance of their bodies. Do they basically give up? Do they fold? And some do. Many players say, I can't do this. I can't go through this difficult time. I have a family to feed, whatever. I'm just going to go get a job, whatever. And then there's other players that persevere and end up becoming some of the greatest players in the world. So the point of this is that mental toughness allowed these players to not get sucked into the negativity of others, even if it's negativity of their own fans. That's what needs to happen with all of us. You know, I can remember moments in my career as a marketer, as a network marketer, which were really low, especially when I was going through a lot of financial struggles, going through a foreclosure. It's like at any point I could have said, you know, it's time for me to give up and get a job and become realistic about my life. And it would have been a perfectly reasonable and acceptable thing to say to myself, and everybody around me would have supported me. Fortunately, that didn't happen. So think of, now I want you to let me know, share with me right now. Share with me a moment in your life, drop me a number 4, if there was a moment in your life when, as you're already deep in the weeds into what we're doing here with attraction marketing, or even in your network marketing career, where it would have seemed perfectly logical for you to give up. Drop me number 4. It would have seemed perfectly logical for you to give up, and people would have accepted your excuse for giving up as valid and supported you in that decision. If you know of a situation in your life, drop me a number 4 and let me know. So that's what's happening. And what's funny is that recently, one of our members, brand new member, hadn't been together with us for very long, just got very discouraged because he missed a piece of information and felt overwhelmed and started complaining, basically complaining and whining in our community. And what happens when people are not mentally tough is not only does somebody, do you kind of fall into the negativity and you lose that mental toughness, and you start maybe complaining and accepting your own excuses and start blaming others. What happens with normal humans is that other people get sucked into that negativity as well. The reason why your family would have accepted you giving up, the reason others would have accepted you giving up, the reason they would have bought into your excuses is because, somehow part of our human nature is to get sucked into the negative vortex of other people. And that's what I seen at times at leading our community and leading other organizations, is that it takes one person to break you. It takes one person to share a bad experience, and then all of a sudden you get sucked into that vortex, and all of a sudden you're recounting all the bad experiences and all the times that you think maybe you've been wronged, and you let that sidetrack you. You get sucked into that negative vortex, and you get sidetracked into something that can potentially destroy your business. And I simply don't have any tolerance for people like that, for people that try to suck you into their negative vortex. Let me know if you know somebody right now, if you know somebody in your life or in your business, in your downline, that, drop me a number 5 if you knew somebody who is that negative black hole, like Eric just said. If you know somebody who has who's that negative black hole, drop me a number 6. Let me know. Let's be real, because again, it happens occasionally in our community, and I get it. Sometimes it's because we actually dropped the ball on something and we need to reach out to that customer. It turned out I reached to the particular example that I'm talking about. I reached out to this person. I said, "Hey, I saw you had some issues. I'm here to help you. What can I do? What can I do to help you? I've already mobilized my team to reach out to you, but I want to personally reach out to you and help you." And it turned out he didn't want any help. He actually was giving up. He had given up on his business. He was going through some, financial, tough situations, I guess. And he pretty much at that point decided to give up. Think of what just happened there. A 8-figure earner. That's what I've generated well over $16 million in this business, in my business. I'm reaching out to him directly. Somebody that's never earned a dime in network marketing or home business, nothing. And I said, I want to help you. So I saw you're down in your luck. You're not feeling well. I want to help you. What can I do to help you? And he declines my offer, and basically says, you know what? I'm struggling, and I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna quit. That's you think of how mind blowing that situation is. So really, what happened in that situation is this person was venting. It was like their last negative hurrah, and trying to suck as many people into his negative vortex before he's out the door, before he's leaving. I offered my help, and basically his, unconsciously, he didn't do it on purpose, but unconsciously, he's impacting the lives of other people because he's pretty much out the door, and he needs something or someone to blame. He needs to vent and direct his anger, his own disappointment, rather than being disappointed in himself. He's venting his anger at somewhere else, and so that's what happens when you lack mental toughness. Not only are you hurting other people, are you hurting yourself? You're sucking other people into you. And so, what's the cure for this? It's quite simple. And watching the people in the World Series, those players that at one point were down in the luck, and I want to show you guys some stuff I got from the World Series. So here's a World Series hat that I got from the World Series. So I'll just put this on because I was planning to do this earlier, but I got a program for the World Series. I'm kind of we're geeking out a nerd. For the first time in my life, I get to watch something that may never happen in my lifetime again. Being able to experience this, and being able to experience that with the players that were on the field, that at one point in their life were down and were written off and were basically told you're not going to make it in the major leagues, and now they're doing one of the most credible things you can do in your lifetime. And so there's a World Series ball that we got. So there's it says official World Series ball. That ball was expensive. So anyway, I just interrupted you with a little showing off, but let me tell you. So what got these players, and what's going to get you through those periods in your life, through the periods when your ad campaigns are not running, or when that prospect says no to you, or when the prospect gets mad at you and blows up on you, or when your best friend gets mad at you and blows up to you? What's going to get you through that? First and foremost, in addition to mental toughness, being coachable and having trust in the mentors that you've bought into, to know that they have your best interest at heart and that they've laid out the best possible plan out for you, and trusting in that process. The second thing about being coachable is knowing how to ask for help. In the examples of these Dodger players that were at one point not very good players, the difference is that they came to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have a coaching staff that they had to trust in. And those coaches were basically saying, you have to change everything about your game. You have to change this, you have to change this, you have to change this. And those players, given that everything they have done up to that point got them to the majors, but wasn't going to get them any farther, they had to trust in an old man, very likely, that can no longer play, that what he was saying, because he could no longer do it, what he was saying was going to work for him. And they had to be coachable. They had to know how to ask for help. Clearly, somebody who just whines and complains about their situation doesn't know how to ask for help. And knowing how to ask for help is respectfully going to your mentors and going, "Hey, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with this, or I just need to know where to get started. Whatever. What do you recommend? Can anyone point me in the right direction as to where I should start?" Knowing how to ask for help in a respectable way is going to get people to want to help you, and it's going to get people to not only want to help you, be excited to help you. It's like, wow, this guy really knows how to ask for help. It's a crazy thing that people have not yet learned a proper way to ask for help from mentors who have what you have. So being coachable includes trusting in the process, being willing to change habits that you previously had, or being able to change your mindset or your approach or your way of thinking, and knowing to ask for help. The final thing that got these players to have mental toughness and be coachable is the idea of discipline. And so I'm going to define what I believe discipline is. A disciplined person is somebody who is willing to do what others are unwilling to do to achieve universally desired goals, especially when what is required to do is difficult. Let me say that again. A disciplined person is someone who's willing to do what others are unwilling to do, and to achieve universally desired goals, especially when those things you have to do are difficult. Now, the part of this that's key for me is that universally desired goals. Would I want to be one of those players at the World Series? Would I want to be on the field playing? Of course I would. That's every kid in America dreams about being at the World Series, but how many kids actually end up playing the majors, much less being at the World Series? These players went through a streak, a period of their life, or maybe throughout their lives, where they were disciplined, they practiced discipline. So they trusted in the process, But not only that, once they got the advice from the coaches, they kept working on what was given to them to develop new habits. So they went on, they took action and practiced what was just taught to them, like they were learning to walk for the first time, and practice and repeated what they were told, so that they can develop new habits that will be beneficial for them. They prepare, they study, and they study film. They read the stats on any particular player that they're opposing. Before games, they stretch, they do massage work. Players will show up 5 hours ahead of game time to physically and mentally prepare for the game, and they do this 162 times out of the year. That is discipline. The ability to, not go out the previous night and have, and kind of stave off those things that might be tempting in order to be prepared for that next game is what these players did that were down on their luck. It wasn't that they had this extraordinary talent that others didn't, because we all know of plenty of cases where talent simply wasn't enough for some people and they squandered their God-given potential. Some people earn it through mental toughness, by being coachable and having this discipline to persevere. And so that's what I observed at this game 2 that was back and forth, seeing people that at one point in their life were down their luck, and seeing them like a year ago, even players that a year ago were written off and weren't expected to make it and do well. Now they're playing at the World Series and they're being and they're considered potential MVPs of these during the playoffs. And what's the difference? It's not that they were a Barry Bonds that had extraordinary talent, is that they were willing to change their approach. They trusted in their coaches. They had this discipline to form the new habits that were necessary in order to make them great. And so I hope this was helpful for you guys, because this translates exactly to what you guys are doing here at Elite Marketing Pro. Sometimes building your business online can be difficult. You run into challenges. Things change. Facebook changes a feature, and all of a sudden you have to adapt. But knowing that you're willing to push through and continue to take the action that we've recommended, it will ultimately lead you to the result that you want. All you need to do is ask the Julie Burke, ask the Kate McShay, ask the Misha Wilson, Tyson Zahner, Gloria McDonald, who recently, Gloria McDonald is one of our Elevation members here at Elite Marketing Pro. Last month had her first $30,000 month, and this month I think she's pretty close to achieving that, if not surpassing that. And what's the difference? Because at one time Gloria struggled, at one time Julie struggled, at one time Kate struggled, at one time Tyson struggled. In fact, Tyson's whole story is about struggling for 13 years. Would you be willing to push through and struggle for 13 years in order to have the outcome that Tyson has? Hopefully you don't have to, and that's why we're here, so that period of essentially of purgatory can be shortened for you. All you need to do is trust in your coaches, trust in the process, and we will help you get there. And hopefully if this message was impactful for you, please drop me a number 7. Let me know if this message impacted you and helped you during just if it just helps you push forward today, or if you were in a situation where you needed to push forward, and this little message helped you kind of rethink your situation, then drop me a number 7. So I just want to read some of the comments here. So Casey's like, it drives me crazy that people give up so easily, because nothing will ever get better. Absolutely. That guy that I reached out to that gave up, his situation, his financial troubles are not going to change. The only way his financial troubles could have possibly changed if he accepted my help. And that's the only way. And I'm not bragging about whatever, I'm some sort of guru. I just know things that he doesn't that could possibly help him. Michelle's, I'm so grateful that my husband is so awesome. He had no clue about this business, but basically he doesn't understand this world, but he is in every day supporting me. That's awesome. So hey, if I'm hearing this right, I can vent in the we'll provide one-on-one. No, Heather, no, don't do that. If I see a trend, I will nip it in the bud. Don't vent. I will, however. I love when people just ask for help, and we're here to provide you. In fact, we have a team, a whole team of a few dozen people that are scouring our community, trying to help people. Now, if we miss you, just post again, and we'll get to you. So Mo's reach out to our support team. There is a place to get started, and if you don't have access to the getting started guide for being a VIP member, then that means you missed something. And so reach out to support, and they can get you started. Awesome, Jenny. Thank you so much, Chris. Lots of sevens. Thanks, guys. Arrow Mandy. Great analogy today. All right, awesome. So hopefully you guys bared with my analogy for the World Series. So tonight is Game 3. The series is tied 1-1, and so you guys know what I'll be doing tonight. And so have a great weekend. Have an awesome day. If you guys want to know more about what we do here at Elite Marketing Pro, the link is right there on the screen, elitemarketingpro.com, or click on the link in the description. If someone referred you, they can become your best friend, guaranteed, if you want somebody to guide you on this online journey. The good news is now all the things you need to do to build your business, you can do from behind your laptop or you're watching your kids and not have to be out and about at hotel meetings or home parties or whatever. And so that's what we're focused on. That's our mission, to kill the 3-foot rule here at Elite Marketing Pro. Take care, everybody. Have an awesome day.